So here we are, people. We're at World Team Tennis with the captain of the San Diego Aviators, right?
That's correct.
So, John Lloyd, legend, England.
Only in my own mind.
No, not at all. It is such a pleasure to meet you. As I just
thank you.
told you before we started this interview, I mean, you come from the period where I learned to start playing tennis, the Borg, the Connors,
Right.
the McEnroe. So it's a pleasure for me to meet you.
Oh,
So.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a great era. I was lucky to be a part of it. I mean, they were the big guys, the ones you just mentioned.
Right.
And I think we were lucky because we just sort of we got the beginning of TV in tennis for the first real time, and we had such exciting players then with the three you just mentioned that it sort of all of a sudden we had a big tennis boom, and yeah, it was a great time to play.
Right.
Money wasn't so good, but it was still good fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the tennis, this weekend tonight. So your team, you're off to what, 3-1?
3-1, yeah, good
You got to
start.
be feeling good about that, right?
Good start. Yeah, the team is it's bonded well. I love team tennis, but as whenever I've been coach, I've always tried to make sure that my team is a team of very low egos, no one that's going to kind of rock the boat, and everybody's in it for the same reason. We all have fun. We win together and we lose together, and then we get ready for the next match, and no prima donnas. And so we've always done that, and I've certainly been lucky with the four players I've got this year. Are just tremendous.
Now, Taylor Fritz is now the top American by the rankings, and so he had a wonderful win tonight. Coco Vandeweghe is kind of on her way back from injury, I think, and she's had a tough couple of last matches.
Yeah,
right?
she has, and she's working so hard. She's got a new coach, Tom, who's been working her very hard. I've been fortunate to play with him, and she's been practicing for 2 hours a day. And I think at the moment it's just she's close, but she's just trying to put it together. And the doubles, you can see how well she's played in the doubles. And the first couple of singles matches she played well. The last couple, I think she's just pressing a little bit too hard. And the thing is with team tennis, as you know from watching it, it's not like a best of 3 set match. A best of 3 set match, you can start off badly, and then you can kind of work your way into the match, even if you lose the first set. Whereas team tennis, it's first to 5. This is shotgun tennis. I mean, you've got to come out of the starting blocks fast. And if you lose the first couple of games, it's very easy to sort of panic a little bit. It's like, oh my God, especially when she lost 5-0 the other day. It's very easy to think, geez, when am I going to get a game? And then it just gets, progressively. So she'll snap out of it. She'll just open up the shoulders a bit, get a little bit looser, and she'll play a couple of good games and catch fire. And then we won't be talking about her, losing the matches. She'll be winning a lot of them.
Right. So our listeners would absolutely be mad at me if I did not ask you, being from the UK,
Right.
about Emma Raducanu.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, I have to say it's an amazing story. I'm sure you've watched a few of the tennis movies that we've had over the last 30 years, and most of them, quite frankly, have been pretty lousy. And they've always had these kind of rocky themes. They had a movie called Players, and then they had Wimbledon, where you had someone come from qualifying and then win Wimbledon. And I actually saw the script for Wimbledon about 6 months before it came out, and I told the person that, the producer, I said, look, it's a stupid script. You can't come from the qualifying and win a major. Stupid. And then Emma Raducanu goes and does that at the US Open from nowhere, from the qualifying.
And doesn't lose a set.
Doesn't lose a set. I mean, it was rocky basically. And she's, I don't know her. I know coaches that know her well, and they say that she's certainly altogether, her head is good, and I don't think she's going to be a one Grand Slam wonder. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think she's one of these players that, initially she may have a struggle a bit next year, because number one, the players are going to be after her now. The coaches, they all know now she's not an unknown player, and she's got tremendous amount of endorsements and all the pressure. So sometimes it takes a year just to kind of regroup, reboot, and then you come again. It's not like I think she's going to start losing first rounds and stuff, but I mean, will she win a Grand Slam next year? If I was going to predict, I'd probably say no. But I think the following year, I think, the way her mental ability to what the coaches have told me, I think she's going to be a multiple Grand Slam winner. But I mean, look at women's tennis. I mean, Leila Fernandez, Coco Gauff. I mean, the list goes on. I think we're actually in an era now where the women will be pushing the men off the headlines. I think in the
can see
men,
that.
which they do in the world anyway, let's face it, they're women rule, let's face it, come on. But I mean, we've had the era of, and it's still there, but with, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Murray. I mean, what an era, and the women were sort of not pushed down, but a little bit below in terms of the public sort of demand, because those guys were ridiculous, winning all these Grand Slams. But I think the women now, I think in the next 5 years or so, I have a feeling we're going to have this group come through that are so exciting that I think they may be pushing the men off the headlines in the newspaper columns, which is a good thing.
That would be nice to see.
I think it would be nice to see.
Really be nice
I
to
think
see.
it would be nice just to have change the story around a little bit. And how exciting was that U.S. Open final?
That was one of the best women's matches of the year.
Oh yeah,
if not the best.
And not only when you think about it, they sort of pushed the Djokovic story, off the news, and he was about to go, as it happened, he lost, but was about to try and break a record or equal a record, and yet the story was about these two young ladies and how great they were and the excitement they brought to the game.
It was the excitement, yeah.
So I mean, women's tennis is. Really coming up fast.
Okay, I have one more question
Sure.
and then I'll let you go.
No problem.
I am personally a big fan of Cam Norrie.
Yeah.
So talk to me for a few minutes about Cam and what a tremendous year he's had this year.
He's he sort of really got his main tennis background through American college. And learned his trade there to a certain extent, and I think it's a great way for players. Not every player, but I think the American college system these days is fantastic because the amount of great tennis you have there and the pressure that's on in these matches makes you harden as a player.
Right.
But he is a player that if you ever said to someone, okay, did he get 100% out of his ability? Cam Norrie is that player. You can see that when he steps on the court, he thinks and says and believes, and I think he is, he thinks he's the fittest player on the circuit. He believes that he looks across the net and he doesn't think that anybody's faster than him or stronger than him or has more stamina. And, you can see that he's utilised his game. He's got that whippy forehand, and then the backhand, he's got that short little backswing that, it comes at you fast, and he chases down balls, and mentally, I mean, he's a rock.
Right.
So you've got to give hats off to him. He's had a ridiculous year, how good his year has been. And do I think he's going to have a letdown next year? No, I don't think so. So I think he's got a chance to push into the top 10.
Nice.
And we'll see where he goes from there. But what a player.
Nice. Everyone, what an interview. John Lloyd, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.